Hello everyone, welcome to this video. In this video, we will discuss about Linux kernel construction. So let's start from the Linux learning outcome. After completing this session, student will be able to outline Linux kernel construction. So what are the types of kernel? There are two types. That is, kernel architecture is classified into two types. This left side part is monolithic kernel and this one is microkernel. So you can observe this in the previous video we have discussed the user mode, kernel mode and hardware kernel architecture. So in monolithic kernel, so this part is user mode, this one is kernel. This one is kernel mode and this is hardware and this is microkernel. So monolithic kernel having various stages than microkernel. So let's talk about monolithic kernel. Monolithic kernel is a single large process running entirely in a single address space. So this all the processes entirely run in a single address space. It is a single static library file. Monolithic kernel is single static library file. All kernel services exist and execute in a kernel address space. So everything, all kernel services exist in a and execute in kernel address space. Next is the kernel can invoke functions directly. And the example of monolithic kernel based OS are Linux and Unix. This is the famous operating system or famous kernel. So Linux kernel is what monolithic kernel. So it will Linux kernel provides all the features of monolithic kernel. Now what is microkernel? So microkernel is broken down into separate processes known as servers. So the separate processors in microkernel is what it's known as servers. Some of the server run in kernel space and some run in user space. You know there are two spaces. First one is user space and kernel space. So some server of microkernel run in user space and some in kernel space. All servers are kept separate and run in different address space. So all servers are separate and run in different address space. The communication in microkernel is done via message passing because if there are two servers, then if one server is want to communicate with the other server, then this communication is done by using message passing. The server communicate through IPC. It's called as inter-process communication. Two server of a kernel communicate through each other by IPC, inter-process communication. Servers invoke services from each other by sending messages. The separation has advantage that if one server fails, other server can still work efficiently. This one is the great advantage of microkernel. If one server fails, then other server can still work efficiently. Example of microkernel is what you know. These are the Mac OS and Windows operating system. So these are the example of microkernel. It is having separate spaces for processes. So each server is separate for Windows and Mac OS. Basically, Linux kernel construction is divided into 5 parts. That is, top level source directory, compiling the kernel proper, that is VM Linux, kernel image components, and last one is subdirectory layout. So these are the some Linux kernel part or pieces. So we'll start from the top level source directory. So it is often found in this one, slash user slash source linux comma x dot y dot z. So where x dot y dot z represent the kernel version. So we have discussed in the first video the even part and odd part. Remember? So x dot y dot z represent the kernel version. So top level kernel source directory contains the following subdirectory. Which are the subdirectories? This one: architecture, crypto, documentation, drivers, fs, include, init, IPC, kernel, live, net, script, security, sound, user. So these are the subdirectory of top level kernel. Many of these subdirectory contain several additional level of subdirectories containing source code, make files and configuration files. So maybe some architecture or user or sound may contain other subdirectory, and that will include source code, make files and configuration file. And this three dots and slash represent the top level kernel source directory. So remember this one, three dot and slash represent top level kernel source directory. The largest branch of Linux kernel source tree is found under dot 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 and driver. So this is the largest branch of Linux kernel source. One can find support of Ethernet network card, USB controller, and the numerous hardware devices that Linux kernel support. So this all the support is in this directory dot 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 drivers. This is the largest branch of Linux kernel source. And the next largest subdirectory is dot 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 slash R architecture. So it will support more than 20 unique processor architecture. So it is big number. It will support 20 unique processor architecture. So first large subdirectory is what? Dot 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 slash drivers, and second one is architecture. So drivers contain all the support of Ethernet network card, USB controller and various other hardware devices. And architecture directly contain more than 20 unique processor architectures. Next is compiling the kernel. The output of the kernel build system produces several common files as well as one or more architecture specific binary modules. Two of the common files are this one, system.map and vmlinux. So these are the two common files. It contains human readable list of the kernel symbol and their respective addresses. It produces by the top level kernel makefile for every architecture. If the kernel was compiled with symbolic debug information, it will contain the VM Linux image. Now let's talk about kernel build output. So this is what kernel build output. It is these are the some starting line, and from LD object copy these are the ending lines of Linux build output. Now concentrate on this line LD R This one we'll talk about in the next slide. The kernel proper VM Linux. Notice this line. I have already told you LD slash architecture ARM boot compress and VM Linux. So VM Linux file is the actual kernel proper. This one, this VM Linux file is what? Actual Linux kernel proper. It is fully standalone monolithic image. So no unresolved external reference exists within the VM library file. When caused to execute in a proper context by bootloader designed to boot the Linux kernel, it boots the board on which it is running, leaving completely functional kernel. So this image is what link stage VM Linux. So this is the command. Image produces the actual link stage of build process that resulted in the VM Linux ELF object. So it will have this head.o, initiate task.object file, in.o, this one. This is all file. This is the what? Link stage VM Linux. Next is kernel image components. The VM Linux image consists of several composite binary images. So the first line of link command in previous image specifies the output file, that is hyphen o VM Linux. So it is what? It is the output file. And the second line specifies the linker script file, that is hyphen t VM Linux dot ldl. This is what? Linker script file. The third and subsequent lines specify the object modules that form the resulting binary image. And I have told you the first object is what? Head.o. This object was assembled from architecture ARM kernel head.s. So head object is assembled from this file head.s, an architecture specific assembly language source file that performs very low level kernel initialization. So this file performs low level kernel initialization. It is what? Hardware source file. Next is VM Linux image component. So these are the VM Linux in image component. It will have head output file, task output file in kernel. So this is the VM Linux image. So image illustrates the binary makeup of the VM Linux image. It contains a section for each line of the link stage. So we know the link stage. Every link stage is having separate section. This is what this section is for kernel, this is for image, this is for file system, inter-process communication. So every section is different for link stage. So it's not to scale because of space consideration. One can see the relative sizes of each functional component. I told you this one, relative sizes of each functional component. And last is subdirectory layout. This is the subdirectory layout image showing details of context of the match-ixp425 subdirectory. So this is what subdirectory of this match-ixp425. This again, the directory exists under the architecture.arm, architecture specific branch of the source tree. So subdirectory, these are the subdirectories are which one? First one is makefile and kconfig. These two files drive the kernel configuration and build process. These two files are very important as far as to driving the kernel configuration and build process. So up till now we have discussed all the Linux kernel construction, We have started from top level source directory, compiling the kernel, kernel proper VM Linux, kernel image components, and last one was subdirectory. Yeah. Let's move on to the next video.